All right, let's do this. Trey Hardee, best athlete in the world. I feel like whenever I mention your name and someone is like, Trey Hardee, I'm like, I have a visceral reaction. I'm like, you don't know who the best effing athlete in the world is?
Like former, it was a long time ago.
Nah, doesn't matter to
It was
me.
a long time ago.
If you're the best athlete in the world once, you're the best athlete in the world forever to me. Two-time decathlon world champion, Olympic silver medalist, handsomest guy I know, tall, good-looking, smart.
Listen, we can stop this right now and just go on a date. That'd be fine.
Anyway, thanks for being here, man. I love you.
Heck yeah, dude.
Good dude.
Thanks for having me.
My
it's
pleasure.
Always to have you in town. It's always a bummer if I find out you were in town, even if you were like super busy. I would have, yeah, I'd make it happen. Come see you.
That's true. I do feel guilty when I show up somewhere and don't tell everyone that's important that I'm there. But you know,
sometimes you know a lot of people. You got to do that, or else you'd never get out of town.
and I'm old, man. After I run and do some work during the day, like last night, I was supposed to go to dinner at like 6 o'clock. I told Ben and the guys I was with, I'm like, dude, I have to go to my room. I did a long interview. I did a bunch of other stuff. I'm like, I need to be alone for a little while. I just ran out of juice.
I think people don't understand that energy tank. I think everyone understands the physical one or the sleep one or like the I need food one.
Yeah.
But the energy tank that is like being you and like the best version of yourself and that like presence and excitedness, and I call it like the TV tank. Like when you're on TV, you gotta be really in it. That is a very important, that's more important than all the other ones, because that's the one that you draw from when you're presenting, you're like trying to put your best foot forward, and it is, when that's empty, nothing else matters. Like you're just staring at the corner. Like
for the people who haven't done that or done long interviews, being interviewed and doing interviews, it really takes a lot of emotional energy from me.
It's hard to describe. Like it really is hard to describe, but it just, it emotional energy, and you're not fake, but there is this, you're sharp.
On.
Your brain,
you're
on
the whole time.
Yeah,
like,
you're on. It's tough.
Well, the reason I wanted to have you on is I love your story, and I love the story about being cut from the high school basketball team and just knowing those feelings myself, and now having kids that are like 15 to 10 and they're all going through their own little struggles, and they're all very, very different abilities. I mean, one of them is really good. One of them has 2 left feet. I mean, it's wild. But I've told them your story so many times. They're like, Dad, please, not the Trey Hardee story again, please. Because not only cut from basketball, but then you got into pole vaulting, and we'll get into it, but go to Mississippi State, pole vaulter, and then to end up as the NCAA champion at Texas on a full ride for a track athlete is just, and then into the Olympics, it's effing incredible. I love this story, and I wanted to share it with everyone, so let's get into it. Let's start with the comeback. So you're in, was it high school when you were playing basketball? And if you don't know, if you Google Trey Hardee, you'll see how tall, 6'4"?
6'5" now.
6'5", can probably like do dunks like anyone in the NBA, right? That high jumper, can jump. I'm talking the best athlete you've ever seen. So in basketball, you must have just been like flying around people.
Well, at the time, I mean, that was my sport growing up. Like from the time you could dribble, first and second grade, we're playing, you're doing all-stars, doing all that stuff, played for the school, started all, 7th, 8th, 9th, JV. And then I wasn't big and I wasn't tall, and I could kind of jump, but like you could only jump so high as a, 15-year-old kid who's 5'9", and like I played 1, sometimes would float out to 2 when we had a good point guard, but was not what you see here today. And not, if you Google me, that wasn't what I looked like. I was a pretty scrawny, but was always fast.
But you're also an athlete too.
I could pick things up, and I take full ownership of everything, and like the path that I like, could I have done more to stay on the team? Could I have done, the Michael Jordan and just worked my butt off and made the team next year? Probably. But I never really had anyone sit me down until I was in track and field and said, look, you have got talent. Just stay the course, keep your head down, do what your coaches say, that kind of thing. Put in the extra work and you're going to be great. And so, yeah, being cut from the basketball team was way out of left field. Like I wanted to play, I didn't know the path, but I wanted to play like small, NAIA ball. Back when Birmingham Southern was a school, that was like it. Like go play D3, go play somewhere, and just continue this love that I had for the game, and it being asked not to come back and literally being told to go be a pole vaulter, it was looking back the best thing that could have ever happened to me. But at the time, I'm a junior in high school and sports are important, and that was kind of who I was. And it was the worst thing that could have ever happened to me. And didn't want to go to school the next day. Parents made me go to school. Didn't want to go to the games. Other parents encouraged me to come to the games. And it just kind of became not a joke on the coach, but very much like this, okay, maybe he doesn't know really like how can he not see? What are we doing here? Like, how is this in the best interest of the team? Yeah. And so get cut and then immediately start growing and putting on muscle and getting bigger and stuff. And so like in between quarters and half times and stuff, I would just go out and dunk and do all kinds of stuff. It was kind of fun, but immediately went out to pole vault. Like immediately, okay, guy, you want me to be the best pole vaulter? Go be a pole vaulter. I'm like, I'm going to be the best pole vaulter you've ever seen. And, little over a year later, set the Alabama state record, which wasn't that high, but went out and was a pole vaulter, and actually got looked at from some colleges. And then the one that was offering me a book scholarship, I took. I was like, let's go. Like, I'm a D1 SEC big time athlete, and took it and ran with it.
Did you ever consider going back your senior year and playing again? Because now you must have been like growing, getting big, like you said, and dunking. I mean, not many kids in high school are throwing down crazy athletic dunks.
Well, mine weren't even, they weren't crazy and athletic. They were just, I could get up there.
Yeah.
And that was all that like the school I went to, where I was, that's all you really needed to do.
Yeah.
Like to be like, oh, wow, Trey, wow.
Did the guy ever come back and say like, hey, come back out? I made a mistake.
Nope. Funny enough. So he coached at the school for 30, 40 years, like a long, long time. Tenured coach, just never left.
Yeah.
Coached. I think he ended up winning 2 state titles in that long 40-year span. But we were inducted into our city's sports hall of fame in the same class.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. It was cool. It was like full circle thing, and I think in his head he takes credit for a lot of my success because he's the one that kind of kicked me out of the van, and it's like, you're walking that way, we're going this way.
Yeah.
But stubborn's the wrong word, but I was very much, God, what are you showing me here? I'm not supposed to be playing basketball. I did love pole vaulting. This wasn't like a punishment. It was like, I get to go play.
Yeah.
Like now I get to go play this other thing and do the funnest sport in track and field, like this funnest thing I had ever done in terms of like, it's freaking awesome. Like you watch track and field and you're like, okay, one of these things is not like the others.
Yeah.
There's worse things to go do. I wasn't going and being an accountant or like, restocking produce or anything like that. I tasted a little bit of success that initial season, that spring of my junior year. And then it was like, yeah, I think I can do this. And I remember coming home. So now we're in the fall of my senior year. I go to a pole vault camp, which those exist. Like you go, it's a bunch of dorks pole vaulting. And I come back and I go, Mom, I'm going to be a professional pole vaulter. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I'm going to be a professional pole vaulter. And this is before I had ever jumped 14.6, which is nothing. Hadn't jumped 15 feet, hadn't done anything. I'm not nationally ranked. I'm in the top 300 in high school. Like this isn't anything no one would have believed it. Right. And so Mom's just like, you need to get a good education and make sure you get a degree and have something that you can do, when this doesn't work out. Right. but never was negative about it, never was anything but supportive. Didn't understand the event at all, like most don't. And they're like, well, why are you doing, I saw you change poles. Why are you changing poles? Like all of that stuff. And then ended up having a really good indoor state championship meet. Coaches were there recruiting other people, not recruiting me, saw me, and were like, hey, would you want to come on a visit? Hey, so-and-so is going to come on a visit. Would you want to come that same weekend?
Yeah.
Sure. We'll save some money. We're already going to dinner, like all that, and ended up just really enjoying my time in Starkville, Mississippi. Really liked the coaches, liked the team. It just felt right and was, yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go there. And I just kind of put my head down and I never really looked back on that time, and really I don't have any regrets of, man, should I, put my head down, worked hard, got in the gym and tried to make the team again. It was gone. The way it ended, it was gone.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to have me back on the team.
Yeah.
Focus isn't just about grinding harder. It's about fueling smarter. When I'm working, training, or recording, I need my brain to show up. That's why I use Ketone IQ. It's clean brain fuel. No caffeine, no crash, just steady mental energy that lasts. It gives your brain what it actually wants. Ketones. They cross the blood-brain barrier to power your neurons directly. No jitters, no drop-off. You just stay locked in longer. For me, it's the difference between pushing through and feeling dialed in. Whether I'm deep in work, on a long run, or traveling, Ketone IQ keeps me sharp, calm, and focused. If you want to think clearer and last longer, head to ketone.com/rideout for 30% off your subscription order, plus a free gift with your second shipment. Fuel your mind like you mean it.
It's funny. I don't know if I told you, I'm helping out coaching a local high school cross country team in Nashville, and they're unbelievable. The girls are like nationally ranked. They might be in the top 5, but they're number 1 in the state. The boys are like,
of course they are, dude.
Boys are like top 3 to 5 in the state, but only 2 seniors. Like the JV and
so
freshmen,
they're gonna be good.
They're gonna win the states for like the next 10 years.
So are they just, all right, hey, today everyone wake up, run 10 miles, and then we're hit the track in the afternoon?
They run 300 days a year at least. They're savages though. They're like, I like to tease cross country kids about being nerds, but I love them. I'd say, hey, I'm a nerd too. I'm into this too.
As mentally tough as you can find in a lot of them. If you're running cross from like, middle school all the way to your senior year, you know more about yourself than most team sports people, because you've been alone and you've been.
And that's the part I love working with them on, is I'm like, if you don't think that there's a lot of strategy here, you are not understanding the sport. Because sometimes if they win or they lose, the individuals, I'm like, you see when that girl went, you have to stay with her. This is a 3-mile race. You can't assume she's going to slow down. You have to just say, all right, if she's going to take it out this hard, let's see who's got the bigger engine. I'm going to stay with this. And the one girl lost by 6 seconds. I'm like, if you didn't let her put 30 seconds on, but I love it. I love the kids. They're so cool. But every time I see the track team and the track coach, I'm like, hey, do you know that my friend is Trey Hardee? And all of them are like, oh, really? Do you think he'd ever come here? I'm like, if he's in town, he would.
Absolutely. But absolutely. I love talking to that age group because high school's tough too, where you get a lot of too cool for school and a lot of trepidation trying, because putting yourself out there and trying is scary.
Oh, and you don't have to tell me.
And we lose a lot of talent with kids that could be amazing, but they've got a reputation to uphold, and looking like a fool or losing early while you're learning, while you're building up your fitness or endurance or skill or whatever it is, it keeps a lot of people from like becoming something.
They had a homecoming, and we had a track meet the next day, and the coach was like, the kids were like, oh, they shouldn't have scheduled it the day after homecoming, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you think that those kids on the football team are going to get up and come to your damn track meet? Then why are you worried about supporting them late at night on a Friday? Go till the first half's over and then get home and handle your own business. And the kids are just like, they're so polite. They're all like, yes, sir.
Never thought of that, sir. Thank you, sir.
But they're so cool. So you get to Mississippi State, and I assume you just start kicking ass. Like, how does Texas find you there? Like, what happens at Mississippi State?
I wanted to quit a bunch of times. Like, so I go from being a pole vaulter. It's fun. All I did was pole vault every day.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did
Like,
you
it
have
didn't-
any inclination that you could throw a shot put or a javelin or hurdle or high jump?
I mean, I couldn't. I really couldn't. And I had a natural, like, the hurdles kind of clicked for me. So that was never this super frustrating thing, but everything else was unbelievably frustrating. And just training in and of itself, like the discipline and the tenacity and just the focused mindset you have to be good at the decathlon. I didn't think that I had it until all of a sudden I had done my first decathlon and go, oh, okay, now I know what all this shit was for. I know why it sucks, and I think it's worth it. Here we go. Now I'm going to train with a purpose.
When did they suggest to you to do decathlon? So you get there as a pole vaulter, and how quickly are they like, no, you're now the decathlete?
Right when I got on campus.
Did they already know before you got there that they wanted you to do
Because
it?
I don't want to say I messed up, but so I signed this huge book scholarship, right? So I'm getting my $200 a month stipend for books, and I'm like, hey, coach, like we have this King of the Mountain meet, and I was like, hey, I want to run the 100, and really just to shut the guy up who's on the team who I know I'm faster than.
In the
like,
100?
Yeah, in the 100.
At Division I college, you're a pole vaulter. What would make you...
No. This is in high school.
Oh, in high
And
school,
So I've
okay.
already signed the scholarship. We're in the outdoor season, and I'm just like, I want to try the 100. I want to do this. I want to try these things.
Yeah.
And I did 300 hurdles once. I ran a really slow 400-meter dash. I was just like, let me
Try
see what it
everything.
is.
Yeah.
Ended up being pretty fast, and then get to school, and they're like, hey, those... And you're growing,
Yeah.
You're clearly still growing. We're going to do the decathlon. We think we can score some points at the conference meet. Your pole vault technique sucks. I mean, it wasn't great. And so the indoor season, I train all fall. It sucks. When I say it sucks, like I've never jogged more than a lap. And if I had to jog more than a lap, I'm walking part of it,
Yeah.
and I'm walking straight to the pole vault pit. I had never really lifted weights that like with any intention. It was just like once a month in my attic garage or something. I'd done pull-ups. I was good at pull-ups, and that was about it. Could walk my hands. That was about it. And so then I get thrown into this thing, and it just sucked kind of every day, and I was sore every day, and I was frustrated every day.
But you must have made crazy gains at that age when someone isn't used to that kind of fitness training.
Yeah, I mean, from August of 2002 to maybe March of 2003, I put on 30 pounds. Not joking, I put on 30 pounds. I was 6'3", 155, and then was about close to 6'4", 185 when I did my first decathlon. And I did the first one. And also this is coming off, we have the indoor SEC championships, and back then they did the pentathlon.
Yep.
So they didn't do the HEP for the guys yet. They do the pent. So I run the 1,000, a long jump, shot put, do all that stuff. And I am like 18th place in the SEC, 18th. I beat a couple guys that didn't finish.
Yeah.
And one guy like no marked and almost beat me. I was not good.
Okay.
Like objectively, like there wasn't any
But
promise either.
I think that this is the story though. Like this is why I wanted to talk to you, is to say like how you keep your head in the game to be like, God damn, I'm getting cut from the fucking basketball team. All I want to do is play basketball. Okay, you like pole vault and you're okay, but you're
now I'm not going to pole vault.
Now you like get to college and you're like, oh, I'm getting the shit kicked out of me. 18th? I mean,
Yeah.
no one wants to be 18th.
I'm not even the best on the team. Like I'm not there yet, but I know I'm fast. Like I'm getting faster. I ran 10.5 my freshman year.
10.5 is
in the 100.
effing insane.
For a skinny little white kid, it felt pretty good.
That's insane
Felt
for
good.
anyone. That is, I mean,
good.
like at 10 flat, you're like, threatening to make the Olympic team, right?
So half a second in the 100 is a chasm, right? So I'm barely faster than like the fastest woman in the world right now, like barely.
If I beat the fastest woman in the marathon, I would be doing backflips. Okay, so
they're all fast, but at that level, you're a thousandth of a second
I know.
looks like that, right? So the day after this horrible event, the pentathlon, is the open pole vault, and I got to compete in it, got all SEC. I got top 8. I scored some points for my team. It was the first time Mississippi State pole vaulter had scored in a really long time, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I don't have to do this decathlon thing anymore.
I'm
clearly terrible at it. I'm just going to pole vault. And I remember having that brief conversation. They're like, well, no, you're going to do 1. And I was like, oh, why am I doing 1? And they're like, well, the Texas Relays is in like a month. You've put in all this training. Just do 1 and we'll go from there. I did the 1. That score from the Texas Relays meet qualified me for the NCAA championships. And I'm like, oh, okay.
How many decathletes go to the NCAA?
Like 24-ish.
Okay. Out of the whole country.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody. And that meet was like, oh, this is way more fun. Like I can get into this, and I know that guy, that like the 5 or 6 guys that beat me, I'm better than they are.
Yeah.
Like I know that I'm a better athlete than they are. They're all seniors and juniors or like foreign guys, and I was just that meet was one of the top 3 most important meets of my life, just to be able to stick my nose in it. And I fought hard, and the feeling that you get when you I know you know the feeling, it is indescribable. Crossing the line or finishing something hard where you're like, stuff just starts clicking, and you're like, oh man, I could get addicted to this. I like competing, but this is different. This feeling of finishing this thing, even though I finished in 6th or 7th place, was like, cannot wait to get back and train so I can finish higher.
That's why I always tell people, like, you should be running and training to win. And winning doesn't have to mean winning the race. It means winning for you. You could be freaking dead last, but if you've never run a mile and you run 10, that's a win. So people misunderstand when I'm like, everything, win or die trying. Not actually win the whole race. I'm never winning the Boston Marathon, but I can win my age group,
not with
and
that attitude,
and I can, and I can beat my best time. But there's all little wins along the way, and that's a perfect description of it. Because once you get that taste, you're like, oh, I'm winning. I can win. I can win more.
Yeah, defining what that win is, and there's a universal one, and I think there's technical ones. There's like, I think, quantitative ones that are this time, this place, that place, but then there's qualitative ones, and I think the qualitative one is the real that feeling that lasts more than a brief second, and that is looking back knowing I did my best. And doing your best surprises you every time.
That's right.
Knowing that, like, I could not have run any harder, I could not have concentrated anymore, I could not have like been like more present, I could not have been in a better mood, I couldn't have been happier, all of those like qualitative ones are the ones that stick with you. I mean, I'm happy right now thinking about a lot of the stuff that I did, knowing that was it. Like, that was, could I have scored higher? Could the quantitative stuff have been better? Absolutely. But the stuff that really matters, and like who I was as a competitor, and the training and the getting up every day, all that stuff was, that's what sticks with you.
Yeah, the process of all that stuff, when you're doing it and getting up day to day, it can be a grind. But like I was talking to my wife this morning, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. This stuff takes so much energy from me. And she's like, well, did you run this morning? I'm like, yeah, I ran. She's like, well, maybe don't do the run and then give some energy somewhere else. I'm like, and I was telling her, like, no, I have to stick to the routine. She's like, and she said, you're the most regimented person I've ever met in my life. I'm like, she's like, every time you're home, you're away, you're like coming home a day early. You can't, I'm like, I love my routine because I like the process of trying to win. Yeah. Like the process of getting up, pushing myself. Yeah, it sucks day to day, but as soon as I don't have it, I'm like, oh. It's like that expression, you know, a rich man has a million problems and a sick man has one. If you get sick or you can't do something that you really love doing, you realize that this is the only thing I want to do. And I was talking to Rob Moore about this recently, who's one of the producers here and produces Andrew Huberman's show. And he was like, how much would I have to pay you to be able to not be able to run? And I was like, I said, it would have to be astronomical, 100 million. He's like, what about 5 million? And you can't run anymore. I'm like, I don't think I would take it. And he's like, so think about it. Why would you like miss your run for any kind of work meeting or anything? And I was like, yeah, you're right.
That's an interesting way to pose.
So when you think about it like that, the things that are important to you are worth more than money. People get confused about that a lot, especially if you've never had any money. And listen, I never had any money for a long time, but as soon as you have money, you realize like, oh, I could have done things a lot differently. Like I'm the same exact person as I was. Like after you won the silver medal or the world championship, you didn't get up the next day and be like, everyone knows I'm the world champion. They're like, I know it, but that moment was fleeting and now I've got to get back to the grind so I can do it again.
Yeah. Everyone listening to the show just learned that I was those things, you know? But you touched on something too, that a lot of times I feel like people are on their own timetable, right? In life, in sport, in business, in family, and whatever it is, that the key is not like a magic workout. We're not talking about like this magic thing that like, oh, and then I did this one time and it unlocked all these things. It was the grind and the consistency and the routine and the regimen of doing stuff over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And I tell athletes this all the time, is the magic is in showing up and being consistent and having the right intentions. It's an eventuality. It's not like, oh, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. No. It's either going to happen soon, in a little while, or later, but it's an eventuality that happens. And that is, you find a version of success that is fulfilling and like that qualitative thing that keeps you into this. I don't know. It's hard to describe. You've felt it. You've experienced it. I feel like you embody it more than anyone that I've ever met. But I invite everybody just to get out and do the thing. Like, do the thing consistently. Make it harder than it needs to be sometimes. And what's on the other side of that is just ridiculous self-confidence and happiness and fulfillment and all the things, right?
You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable in life. And it's like anything. Like my wife just got diagnosed with breast cancer and I was like, we were devastated initially, but I was like, okay, we cannot wallow around here feeling sorry for ourselves. What's the plan? And I'm like, all right, let's get into the plan. Let's try and start getting healthy. What's the diet we should be eating? And her diet's terrible. She never listens, but she's always been like genetically freaky and in good shape. And I'm like, I can't believe you eat that stuff and it still look like athletic. But we have been, but I tell her that. I'm like, listen, we've done tons of challenging shit. This is just one more challenge. We're just going to power through it. And I honestly think that when you're used to being uncomfortable, even with physical discomfort on a day-to-day basis, it makes everything a little bit more tolerable.
Yeah.
And especially when you're taking care of yourself and you do get hit with something like this, you're like, all right, I'm not like smoking cigarettes, eating like crap, overweight. And then all of a sudden everything becomes like exponentially harder.
Yeah, it's not this huge lifestyle change that you got to figure out.
Going on with it.
Whether it's my training, recovery, or work, it all depends on how I fuel myself. That's why I love Athletic Brewing Company, the nation's leading non-alcoholic brewery. Launched back in 2018, they've completely shattered expectations for how great non-alcoholic brews can taste. The stuff genuinely tastes awesome, and their NA brews aren't just for the sober. This is truly great near beer. Whether you're not drinking for a round, a day, a month, or forever, with over 25 styles brewed each year, Athletic Brewing has got something for everyone. Personally, I love the Run Wild IPA and Athletic Light. They've become part of my routine. No hangover, no compromise. So whether you're looking to buy online or in person, go to athleticbrewing.com. If you're buying online, use promo code RIDEOUT for 25% off your first order. That's athleticbrewing.com. Code RIDEOUT. Athletic Brewing Company. Fit for all times.
So Mississippi State, you're at Mississippi State, you have a killer year. Then what happens? How does Texas come calling? Like when, and at what point is everyone like, holy shit, Trey Hardee is the best? Because it must happen quickly.
I'm still waiting for that day where like someone says that. But I end up going through my freshman year. I'm an All-American. I get 5th at the NCAA championships. I'm 3rd at SECs. Like I'm like, here we go.
Yeah. Happens slow till it happens fast.
Then that summer they cut the men's indoor track program, and so half my season's gone. So I'm just going to do outdoors. Show up the next outdoor season. I win the SEC title. I finish second in the NCAA. I score 8,000 points. It's like only my 5th decathlon ever. Like it's an early, like the ascension is really hard and fast. And then people are like, this Mississippi State character looks pretty good. He's tall, he's fast. He's just going to figure out everything else, and he's going to be a force. And I end up at the Olympic trials again, my sixth one, and I'm in a race with the eventual Olympic gold medalist, the current world champion, and then a bunch of dudes I have no idea who they are because I wasn't a student of the game. I was so new to it, and we race, and I'm like, okay, I just beat these guys. Okay, another light bulb goes off. Like I can do this.
At
Maybe
the first
I'm not
trials, what did you finish?
Didn't finish.
Oh, okay.
It hit me in the teeth. So end of a long season, don't have years of training under me. When I say the word thin, I'm not like physically thin, but like I was brittle. I was broken down. I had not been really training for it because I just went home for a month and I'm a 19-year-old slapdick.
Yeah.
But I show up, I compete, I'm there, and I'm like, okay, now I get what the next step is. I can do the NCAA thing. Here's the next step. And while we're there, my coach says, hey, I'm not coming back next year. And this is like the middle of July. He's like, not coming back next year. I'm
to
like,
Mississippi State.
what's going on? Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, well, what? Okay, good luck. Thanks. Like, thanks for telling me. And he and his wife were I think they're in Nashville right now. They got a job at like Brentwood Academy or somewhere.
No. Brentwood High School. Yes, that guy runs a track program at the school. I see him there every day.
He might be the AD.
What's his name?
Keith Powell.
Yes, he has like a private group that he trains. It's called I don't know what it's called, but I see him.
And then they've got a son named Dalen.
Did he go to Navy or Air Force?
I think he just got into somewhere.
I think he's going to Air Force. If it's the guy I'm talking about, his son's going to Air Force. Yes.
Jeez.
So he might be the coach at Brentwood Academy, but he has a private group at Brentwood High School. So when we're doing cross country, he's there. And the girl who is another assistant and the coach for the girls track team during the outdoor season, she said to me, oh, that's so-and-so. And was he a decathlete or a pole?
Yeah.
Yes, that's him. And she's like, oh yeah, he's a famous like coach. He's really good.
I need to reach out.
You got to tell him that I met him.
So he and his wife say they're leaving.
Okay.
I think they were there. They got their master's, or we're doing like a master's program there. Got their master's, got a really great job, set up shop.
Brentwood Academy, by the way, is stunning. I mean, it's nicer than most college campuses.
Yeah.
My little guy who's really into sports, he does wrestling, football, and lacrosse, and he does jiu-jitsu, but he's like, Dad, I want to go to Brentwood Academy. So I'm like, oh, I can't afford to send all the kids there. So I say to all the kids, guys, do any of you want to go to Brentwood Academy or stay with your friends at your current school? Like, inch them that way. They're like, no, we don't want to go there. I'm like, all right, Cameron, you're the only one going. Done. he's only in the 4th grade.
I need you to sign this document. Yeah. So they're gonna leave. The interim is like, okay, who's gonna coach me? I am now looking forward to this thing. I need help. I want to run for Mississippi State.
Did anyone from Mississippi State make it to trials with you, and did anyone make the Olympic team?
I think there was a 200-meter runner.
So it was basically you and another runner were the only real like potential world stage athletes.
There were a couple guys like from the islands that were good, like 100, 200 people, which one of them got busted for illegal PEDs, so I don't want to count him. So I don't know really, like stuff's starting to like feel a little unstable, and I basically am not comfortable with what they're doing to replace my coach who has developed me really quickly into this thing, who I trusted, and I'm like, I just want to look around. Like, I just want to see what else is out there. And this is before the portal, before all that stuff. So I got released just to look, take visits and talk, right? And so I get released.
Is that a formal process back then? Okay.
Yeah. I forget what the initial release is called, but it's like you're open, you can talk to people.
Okay.
And so I have a couple visits lined up, Florida, Tennessee, which at the time was like decathlete like Mecca, and Texas. And the only reason Texas was on the radar was because the coach at Texas and my coach who was leaving were teammates at LSU, same coaching philosophy, kind of same everything. And I just had competed here and was like, oh, it seems like a nice place to train. So I take my visit, talk to everybody, and I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time with these other visits. So I grew up a Florida Gator. Florida was a dream school. I went on an unofficial visit to Florida in high school because I was like, please let me come and check it out. Would have been a great place for me to go. Tennessee, I would have developed just the same, but something again about the city and about the coach, the team, everything just felt like it. And again, I'm on book scholarship at Mississippi State. I'm a 2-time All-American, finished second in the country. I'm an SEC champion. I'm still on books.
They must be all psyched to get you in there.
I'm still on book scholarship at Mississippi State. And I'm basically like asking for what was promised, which was if you score at nationals, you're on a full ride. This Mississippi State. And they didn't have the money, and they were like, we're building something here. We really need you to, sacrifice to build the team. And I'm like, I get it. Cause I did it the year before. I scored at NCs and I was still on books. I was like, I get it. I want to win SECs as a team. Like I want to be great. And I'm asking them like, all right, so, hey, I want to stay, but what's going on here? And they're like, yeah, we need you to still help us build this thing. I'm like, okay. And then the next question is, hey, what did Texas offer you? And I'm like, it's full. Like, what are you talking about? What do you think they offered? And they're like, all right, let me call you back. Hour later, calls me back. Hey, we got it full. I was like, oh, you had it the whole time. Cool.
Because they were going to hold it off on you so they could use it on someone else.
Or you just took it from someone.
Yeah.
Right? So instantly was like this gross feeling. And I'm like, okay, thanks, coach. Talk to you later. Next day call, I'm like, hey, I can't come back. He wanted a bunch of reasons. I didn't really say anything, but it was just all the things. Oh, and in between there, I go to an under 23 US meet, NACAC, like a North American under 23 meet, represent the United States for the first time, meet my now wife, mother of my 3 children. It was like the coolest experience. And then all of a sudden I have like 7 days to figure out where I'm going to go to college in the middle of August.
And where was your wife going at the time?
She was at UCLA. And so she had already won a national title, set the collegiate record. She's best pole vaulter.
Yeah.
She's on like the all Pac-10 century team. Like she's a better athlete than I am. And all this is happening. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm talking to her and I'm like, I think I'm going to go to Texas. And she's like, oh, my roommate right now is from Austin. I go there all the time. And I'm like, I'm going to Texas. Like, we're doing this. This is it. What a great reason.
When you're telling me about talking to the coach, and I think this is important for the parents listening, of how important it is to like raise your kids as future, really to give them some autonomy and let them be little adults, because, a kid in college, even junior, freshman, sophomore in college, you're still like a child in a man's body. Like you have no experience in life. And if as parents, you're treating them like little adults as they're growing up and giving them more and more responsibility. Like, I'm just thinking about you talking with the Mississippi State coach and him turning the screws on you, and how I would want my kids to be like, stick to your guns, tell them the truth, don't dance around it, be forceful, be authoritative, but respectful. I'm just thinking, as you're describing that, of how difficult that conversation is, telling a grown man whose career might depend on your decision, like, hey, I got to do what's right for me.
Yeah. Well, and it also was a call that I didn't want to make. It was one that I wanted my parents to be on, and they said no.
Yep.
And it was one of those moments where, and I've actually thought about this in just recent days of like, I wish I could go back and just pep talk younger version of me, high school me, to have that conversation just and frame it a little differently and not be scared to, and know that you're a person, like you're a person that they respect, that they have to speak to with respect, and have to like approach it that way, and teach them how to be, honestly, how to like be Socratic, and how to just ask questions and kind of use that as the shield a little bit. But that's that if you're a kid, if you're listening out there as a kid, the secret weapon is everyone's afraid of you.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone, especially teenagers, like just, okay, I don't even know how do I guard this guy? How do I have this conversation? You have just as much power in any negotiation as an adult, unless they're your coach and you respect leadership. But I wish there was a way, like youth is wasted on the young,
Oh,
you know?
I
Like
say it all
is.
the time. I look at even some of the girls and my daughter and her friends, and I say to my wife, I'm like, these are like children stuck in a woman's body. It's like not fair that they should be like driving that car because they don't know. There's
Yeah.
just so many like bad influences out there. And I'm like, no. My daughter is like ready to kill me. She'll be like, Dad, can I wear this? I'm like, absolutely not. Get back in there and change. And she's not really risque, but I'm like, no. And
Yeah.
even my wife will be like, that's not that bad. It's a cropped shirt. I'm like, she's 15. I don't need this.
Yeah.
But I try to give them some freedoms, but man, it's being a parent is the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah. You're at a different level than I am. I'm 5'7", 9". Like we're still, we're still in a good spot. We're in the sweet spot is what I think. Cause we're buddies.
Yeah.
We play. I can still give life lessons.
Enjoy it while it
but
lasts.
they're not like real life lessons.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that guy's just, he's after your body. You don't need, like, no, I'm like, hey, just play kickball instead of soccer, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm there,
So you go to Texas.
I'm here and
now there must have been hype coming in because they're like, oh, we got this guy. He's got tremendous potential. Or
I mean, as much hype as there is in the decathlon world of collegiate athletics, but it was just exciting because they had a really good decathlete who had gotten hurt the year before, so wasn't at, the NCAAs, wasn't doing all that stuff, but he was the best high school athlete ever. Like he was a 7-foot high jumper, 17-foot pole vaulter. He was awesome. And he was a pro. Like it was a really big part of my development was how professional he was and what he brought to training.
And decathletes, just for people listening, is super supportive of each other, right? Is there a lot of camaraderie?
Oh,
because I see them after events. They're like,
hugging and kissing.
Yeah. I know my friend Chris Spencer, who I bought my house from, played 10 years in the league as a lineman. He was drafted out of Mississippi. Ole Miss was the center for Eli Manning. He gets to Seattle, first round draft pick, and the guy who's the center is like, don't ask me any questions. Don't talk to me. You're here to take my job. F you. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure you never play.
Yeah.
I think that was the guy. One of the guys said, I believe it was the starting center. And years later, he's like, look, I understood where he was coming from. I wouldn't have done that. Yeah. But people can be like super territorial.
Yeah.
How was the decathlete superstar guy when you got there and welcoming you?
It was let's go. Like
let's work together.
In that event, the rising tide's going to float all the boats here. And because it is such an individual thing, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't affect me at all. But if you're out here and we're competing in practice, I'm getting better.
Yep.
Right. And if we don't, I'm not getting better. Like I'm not getting as good as I could be or whatever you want to call it. So that literal, when you do good, I do good thing applies across the board really in track. You don't really see it in the sprints as much, and you see it somewhat in distance groups, but then they always end up like, oh, he trains at this time and they train at this time and she's here and they're there. It's an interesting thing. Decathlon is not that. And pole vault too. Like pole vault is typically like, hey, we're doing this together. Another set of eyes, some support. If I die, you can see, like you can be a witness in court. Like you
can tell me I should have wore a helmet.
Exactly. And helmets actually make it unsafer.
Really?
A false sense of security. Yeah.
Interesting. They did away with headgear for boxing in the Olympics too, because again, it would allow you to take way too many concussive blows where it should have knocked you out, but
or like subconcussive hits. Yeah,
exactly. Sustained.
Yeah.
You hit one good shot and you get knocked out. It's like the UFC. They don't have as much brain trauma because one shot you're out.
Yeah.
Boxing, you just get concussive blows over and over, and they just pile up.
All right. I want all the parents to hear that too. No safety gear.
I like that.
No safety gear. Then they exercise caution.
Yep.
So, it was game on. I remember it was a week before practice was even supposed to start, and he reached out, and I'll just use his name. His name Donovan Kilmartin. He was awesome. Anybody that knows track and is of the age of like 30 to 60 knows that kid's name. He was awesome, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna be at the track at 1. What are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, I'm at the track at 1. And then we started right from there. And he won the indoor national title that year. I won the national outdoor title outdoors that year. And we just kind of batted that title back and forth. I set the collegiate record the next season. And then he, about it, like late in his junior year, just kind of made a decision that was, all right, I'm going to be a petroleum engineer. I love track, but I've kind of had my day. I don't have the time to work as hard as I need to work to get to the next level. And I'm going to get a great degree from a great university and get a great job and get out of here and go start life with my girlfriend and then future fiance and wife, and just made a professional life decision and finished up. He was like an 8-time All-American. He was awesome, great teammate, but did not continue to like rise and
Didn't want to be a pro track athlete.
That was kind of the vibe. Like he made a decision.
And now he's the CEO at Exxon.
Basically, I think he's been at Chevron for 20 something years. Like he's doing okay.
That's a good degree to have.
Doing okay.
Longevity is a word that gets thrown around a lot, but for me, it's simple. I just want to wake up every day feeling sharp, strong, and ready to get to work. That's why I've been using V14. It's a complete daily longevity formula. Very simple. 1 scoop, 14 proven ingredients, including creatine, collagen, NAD boosters, adaptogens, antioxidants, and much more. All designed to help you perform better, recover faster, and stay absolutely dialed. I take it every single morning. It mixes clean, tastes great, and I notice an immediate difference. Steady energy, clearer focus, better recovery after training or travel. It's my routine, no questions, every day. If you care about showing up your best, not just for a race, but for life, go to v14.com/rideout and use the code RIDEOUT for 30% off. That's v14.com/rideout. Longevity isn't something you talk about, it's something you live. Now, let's get to work with V14.
So this is definitely going to be an episode for that the track nerds are going to love. Talk to me about, and I apologize if you're not a track person, but I love the process of the training. Like, talk to me about like a typical day, because again, for people that don't know, just outline the events in the decathlon, because I think it really highlights how much skill you have to have, because some of the events you're competing almost with the open guys, right?
In a couple, like I felt like I could have taken a few months and like dialed it in and been competitive openly.
Yeah.
But so the events are it's 5 events over 10 events over 2 days, 5 events each day. So you've got the 100, the long jump, shot put, high jump, 400 on the first day. Then you've got the 110 hurdles, discus, pole vault, javelin, and you end with the 1500. So you've got really 9 events that are explosive, speed, power. The 400's got some speed endurance in there, but you gotta be fast. You gotta be
400 is torture,
but you gotta be kind of a 1 rep, like stick of dynamite, explosive, and you have to be able to repeat all of that over and over and over. And the 1500 is just not that. And I learned really early aerobically, I just didn't have, like when I weighed 160 pounds, I could run I think I ran 447 in the 15.
Even that's crazy. That's fast.
And by the end of my career, I weighed 212 and could run 440. And that's in a decathlon. And like can run faster, but just in the event itself, I just don't have the stroke volume, don't have it. Like if I trained right now, give me 6 months and I would run faster than that. Yeah, honestly.
The problem is if you want to run fast in the 1500, you ain't throwing that discus and javelin very far. So when you're
sacrificing all of the other events for the sake of one. And so we consciously made the decision, like, look, anything low 440s is serviceable. Let's get great in 9.
Yeah.
And then if it ever comes down to it, we'll, whip your nuts on the table and see what you got. Yeah. And that's really what it is that suffer. And so you've got jumping events, throwing events, and sprinting events. And so we trained like commonalities. And so there wasn't like a day, like a typical day.
Yeah.
There was always 6:30 in the morning I'm in the weight room, and that takes between, really 2 and 4 hours, depending on the time of day. lots of rest and recovery. So I'm not just in there like huffing and puffing. No, these are like very high quality, moving the bar fast, repetitions with a lot of rest in between. And then outside, Mondays was shot put, high jump, and acceleration development. And every other week I would hurdle. So, you know, weeks 1 and 3 were just straight up, I'm accelerating on the flat. Weeks 2 and 4, I'm doing hurdles. And so I only got to train hurdles twice a month, really.
And that was one of your better events, right?
Yeah, and that's the one event I think I could have like laced them up and worked hard at and done pretty well. But
when someone's good at the hurdles, man, it is like
Beautiful.
poetry.
It's
and they're
beautiful.
just like, they're like sprinting, their head isn't moving and their legs are just over the hurdles. It's so, it's literally like,
and in
it's
slow-mo,
like
it
ballet.
looks like none of it should happen.
Yes.
But everything's just moving around this one like head and shoulders that's just not moving, and it just it's
And
a
also when
beautiful
you
event.
see those sprinters, like they have fast twitch muscles that someone like me will just never have. So when you see a track meet in person, you're like, how is his legs moving that fast? Like it doesn't make sense. It shouldn't happen.
And it's like most athletes too, where it's all relative. Everyone's down on the track and they're like, oh, they're all the same height. I don't know. Those hurdles can't be that tall. Hurdles are tall.
Oh, yeah.
Hurdles are 42 inches off the ground. That's really, really high. Hurdlers are big. Like they're big dudes.
It highlights not only, like I said, how fast they are, but the technique is flawless and the amount of practice and time. It's the same thing with like swimming. If you see swimming there, spend a day just diving into the pool, streamlining and seeing how tight they can get. And I'm like, when you see real professionals, that's why I'm so interested in the process, because when I've seen real pro athletes train at specific skills that are part of a bigger event, it's just like you have a new appreciation for what it takes to be great when you only get to see them once every 4 years, especially for swimmers and a lot of track. Unless you're a track fanatic or swimming nut, right? You only see them every 4 years and you're like, wow, that looks cool. And then you go on about your day, be like, the amount of work that took for that that 10-second sprint or that 10-second hurdle event is crazy.
That's what's hard. And looking back, I couldn't have been a one eventer, like a single eventer, for all of the time and effort and dedication to go into the one thing. If I messed up in the 100, I had 9 events to come back and like, okay, let's right the ship here. Like we'll get it back. Right. And so you've got all these energy systems. You've got this like single explosive, just boom, like the creatine kinase, just boom, go. And then you've got like little anaerobic power. You've got to be able to recover. And then the last system was just aerobic power, like that middle distance, like how much can you hurt, you know? And really for me, it was about how quickly can I recover in between reps, in between events, in between days. And I don't think anyone in the world recovered as good as I did in between like the overnight deals at those major meets. Like all my best hurdle races are in decathlons, and those are like 7 hours after I ran a 400 with like a little bit of sleep, 2 meals, and a little massage. So we would train those energy systems on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays were technical day. Like we're doing technical events like the pole vault, long jump, discus. And then Sunday was active rest and recovery. And same with whatever Thursday or Friday was like picking up something that we needed to do. Typically it was just doing work. Like it was in the weight room and like you're doing work, and that's the lever that we would pull up or down if we wanted to feel better.
Yeah.
Want to feel better? Do less work on Friday.
Yeah.
You want to feel like you feel good? All right, we're going to turn the knob up and you're going to do a shit ton of work today.
So you get the Texas, things start clicking right away. And at what point, so going into your senior year, are you the NCAA champion coming back for your senior year?
Yeah.
And trials are coming up this year, is that right?
We're 2 years away from trials. So this is 2006.
The World Championship year?
It's an off year. Like a completely off year, which was ended up, I kind of wish it was the other way around. But yeah, so at indoor NCAAs that year, my senior year, I'm on American record pace, which could have been world record pace if a couple of things go my way. We're in the middle of, just at the start of day 2. And I run the hurdles. It's the world record for the heptathlon hurdle, as fast as anyone's ever run in that event. And it's not fast, but it was fast. And I turn around to kind of look at the score, and my spike catches, I roll my ankle, my tibia hits the ground. I thought I broke my tibia. It was gross. blew up like a grapefruit, huge, like it was could not go on, and just had the pity party for a little bit, right? Cost my team a whole bunch of points, cost us a national championship. It was really difficult to deal with for a day. And then literally woke up the next day and was like, all right, how many days till my first decathlon? Like, I'm about to like hurt somebody in this decathlon, because I had set the collegiate record in the heptathlon a month or two before that meet. I was about to do it again. I was like establishing this kind of international presence of like, who is this Trey guy? I was gonna sign a big contract. Like, I was like really, really upset that this was trying to be taken away from me. So the Texas Relays are 3 weeks later. I do nothing but rehab, and I do some strides like 4 or 5 days out from this decathlon, and it hurts. But I'm like, all right, we'll just tape it up and let's be measured and do a little bit here and there. And I set the collegiate record in the decathlon at that meet, and then kind of honestly float through the rest of that season where I do a bunch of individual events. I just do individual events at conference because I can, and there was no one close to me on the collegiate level anymore. And I kind of let my guard down, and I no-hided at the NCAA championship. Cost teams points. Didn't cost us a championship, but cost us, I think we finished third and could have been second. And it was like, all right, I'm done. I think I'm done. I don't have it in me to compete with younger guys anymore. I'm ready to move on and start training for the Olympics. And coaches were like, hey, you've got one more indoor season because Mississippi State cut it. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't know. Let me get a free master's program out of this. Let me see if I can get a master's, and then I'll come out with a contract. Like, we're just, six in one hand, half dozen in the other. And the last session in December before the indoor season's going to start, I'm power cleaning 160 kilograms, and it knocks me down, lands on my hand. My hand goes all the way back, and end up having surgery on my right wrist. And so now I can't throw. And so now I can't do the thing that I was gonna do. And I'm just, again, like, what is going on? Like, why is this being taken away? What can I do? Well, I couldn't put my hand down to get in the blocks, and I couldn't jostle it. And I'm wearing this, I asked not to wear a cast. So I have this like splint that just clamps down, and we end up, all I did was jump with rubber bands around my waist. That was my training. And then I would show up on the weekends and long jump without guarding my wrist.
Yeah.
We get to the conference meet. I get second at the conference meet in the long jump. I win the hurdles, but the times aren't that good.
Yeah.
But the times are good enough to get to this last chance meet to qualify for NCs. I win the last chance meets, qualify for NCAAs, and end up being All-American in both of those things. Because, again, like we were talking about, this quantitatively sucked. Like, I don't like the numbers next to my name, but that qualitative part of looking back and going, I could have just signed a pro contract and been done and been like, I can't do it. Sorry, guys. I found something to do, right? Okay, I can't do a push-up. Well, I'm gonna run as hard as I can. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm going to jump. I'm going to do whatever I can to figure out a way to kind of not even accomplish the mission, but just, I think very young, no one told me this, but I started to do it later, is looking back and having no regret and being proud of that younger version of myself. Yep. And so I think about that a lot. Like, even as I sit here right now, okay, the 50-year-old version of me is going to look back and either go, God, what was I doing? Or, man, all right, here we go. I'm proud of that guy.
So now you got your master's degree and you're out. Now you decide to go to turn professional in the decathlon.
Well, that's an interesting, like, the sport of track and field's tough because you got a bunch of pro people with no contracts and stuff. Well, I signed with Nike.
Yep.
They gave me a deal to get me all the way through 2010.
And what year is this?
This is winter of 07.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's going to get me to 10, which gives me a chance to make an Olympic team, gives me a chance to make a world championship team. And I signed the deal, and 3 practices later, it's like separate my adductor off my pubic bone, throwing javelin. And again, it's just another thing. And I'm like, this is just a part of my life. This is just what I'm going to be doing, is rehab. got real good at rehab, done a bunch of different kinds of methodologies and stuff, and have to take the rest of the year off. Can't sit up, can't get out of bed, can't do a bunch of stuff. So take the rest of the year off, take a pay cut. My first professional year, like I'm a pro. I made $22,500 as
The other thing
as a
people listening
pro.
need to understand is it's not like an average person like you or I pulling our hamstring or tweaking our calf. When you have like a Ferrari engine and you're racing around a racetrack, there's a lot of things that can break. And that's with all these like really high performing athletes. Like I think of like Christian McCaffrey. His body's moving so fast, he's hitting so hard that it's like, it's not like a regular person tweaking a muscle. It's like, dude, you're driving this thing at like the RPMs are through the roof. Of course something's going to break at some point. So
it
it's
always
like,
bugs me when people call some NFL people like injury prone or they're soft or they're fragile. No, he's a Ferrari.
yeah,
He's not even a Ferrari. He's a Formula One race car.
yes.
He's competing against Corvettes and Ferraris. He's an F1 race car. Pick another sport, he blows you out of the water. Like,
100%.
so it's not that fragility. He's playing with a much dicier, like, has to be dialed in, like, version. And he's playing, there's some Mack trucks in there, like there's stuff that can operate.
Especially in the NFL. I mean, good Lord, you see some of the size of those guys and the hitting. Even when the receiver runs down the field against a DB and they go up for a pass and they just slam to the ground, and like a regular person is probably not even getting up. And these guys are just like bouncing around like they're made of rubber, and you're like, holy crap.
They're doing the
and they're big.
They're doing the grape lady thing that like they can't breathe.
Yep.
Yeah. That's just my soapbox there for a second.
Yeah.
It like really bugs me. I'm like, no, the dude, he's got Olympic lineage. Like he's a Ferrari, like he's an F1 guy, I don't even remember what we were talking about.
So you pull
being a pro.
pull your muscle.
Yeah. And so then I honestly can't run for like a year. Can't do anything for like a year. And it's just rehab.
And at this point, you hadn't done any world championships or Olympics.
Hadn't made any team other than the one where I met my wife in 2004.
Oh,
and
man.
I'm now it's kind of like, is this ever gonna, like, what am I doing?
Yeah. So you take a year off while you're like still
Not
reaching
even
your prime.
Oh, it's not odd. Like I'm doing everything I can do. Like I'm still fit because I swim and I row and I can jog, but I can't sprint. I'm trying to just figure this thing out. And about a year later, finally, I just get in a decathlon and I'm like, I need to score some points to get to the Olympic trials. So again, I don't get more money taken away from me. Let's figure this out and just get through one, score pretty well. And then I end up seeing a physiotherapist who's in DFW area, and he just unlocks my body. My body was just so like clamped down and like scar tissued over, and he just unlocks my body 3 sessions, and it is I look like I've been in a car wreck and I'm bruised and I'm gross, but I'm like, I sprinted today. Yeah. Like I can do okay, let's go. I can do this. Set a huge personal best at the Olympic trials, make the team, finish second, beat one of those guys who I lined up against in 2004, who was the current world champion, who I'm like, I can beat this guy. Actually beat him. It was huge, huge for me. And then head out to Beijing on my first Olympic team.
What was that like?
That's a big regret of my career. It was great. Like I made the Olympic team. Like it's cool. No one takes that away. But then I get there and I had made it a bigger deal.
Yeah.
And actually, the inverse of that, I made it a big deal and I made it not a big deal. It was the first time I'd left the country. It's China. It's the Olympics. I'm wearing the USA uniform alongside the best athletes in the world. Like there's Kobe, there's LeBron. Like it's a big deal. And I tried to make it not. I tried to be like, this is just another track meet. This is the same. It's the same 400 meters. It's the same. Shot weighs the same. It's all the same. No, it isn't. No. But the difference is it's cool. It's awesome. I should have been looking around going, isn't this great? Instead, I was trying to be this like, okay, I got the second best scorer in the world. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to choose. All these guys better respect me. Like that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. And as soon as it got hard, I was like, it shouldn't be this hard. This is the hardest thing I'd ever done. The schedule's really spread out. So instead of you showing up to the track one time, hey, we're going to do event, then event, then event, then event, then event. You're done in like 6-7 hours. No, this was, all right, you got 5 hours this morning, then you're going to take a 3-hour break, and then you got another 5 hours tonight.
A whole different format.
And I'm smoked. By the middle of the second day, I'm like zombie. I've never felt like this. I'm so unprepared. My body doesn't feel right. This is so foreign. This is harder than I've ever
Did you
ever
have any
experienced.
mentors? Like, was there a coach? Because I always think like, man, I wish I knew you then, or I could get with an athlete like that and be like, hey, keep it locked in. Everyone's going through the same thing. The person who handles this the best is going to win. It's not just about performing. It's about everything we do to get ready. It's about the mindset. Fucking kill those guys.
Yeah.
And staying on point for like, and I would say, hey, it's 2 days. You could stand on your head for 2 days. You can hold your breath. We need to stay locked in. When it's over, we'll relax.
Yeah, that would have helped.
I'm available if anyone needs a pep talk.
I try to remind guys now, like I'm not like in anybody's business, but send a DM or send a text that just is like, hey, you're in a great spot. Let me know if you need anything. What you're about to do, yeah, it's a big deal, but it's also really fun. Remember to have fun, and remember this is going to be harder, not because the events are harder, but because of the schedule, because of the pressure. And you might tell yourself there's no pressure. There's pressure, man. Like,
do any of them reach
enjoy
out
it.
to you? Because you're at all the events now.
I had a
with
couple.
NBC Sports.
Yeah, there's a few that I have good relationships with that are very much like, hey, am I going to see you there? Are you there? And it's not like, the weeks before big meets. It's always long before, like, hey, I'm really struggling with this part of it and this and this. And I'm never like, here's how I did it. It's just, hey, here's what you're going to experience. And it sounds like you got all the right people in your corner. Trust your coach, trust yourself. That's all you really can do. And then again, I try to very gently just say, look, you're going to wake up a year from now and 5 years from now and 10 years from now, looking back on this, and do stuff you'll be proud of, like do the work.
When you go there, the coach, do you, I mean, the coach, like, him, but like, he hasn't been coaching you per se, right? Or does every athlete bring their own coach?
Every athlete has their own coach. And then there's like
An
the
Olympic
Team
staff.
USA coach,
Okay.
and they're there to help. They're there to assist your coach.
Okay.
Like, hey, can you catch this mid, or what do you see? But really it's managerial. It is very much like, hey, we need to be here for the bus at this time. Hey, I got you a sandwich. Hey, I got this. What else do you need me to do? And it's more like that, and not like, all right, now I have this whole new coach who has a different philosophy or anything.
I got
like
you.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go, so you get through the second day and you're struggling. What happens? Where'd you finish in
No,
weight?
I'm in medal position. I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm throwing the javelin, best I've ever thrown in my life. I'm running a really fast. I know I'm about to run a really fast 1500.
Yep.
And I know height in the pole vault. My bread and butter.
Just
like,
means you
favorite
missed
event.
3 times in
Missed
a row
3
at the
times,
lowest height.
0 points. So go from top 4 to last.
How high is it that you get a no height on the first height? I thought that it was like a layup for the first one.
Like 480. So like 15.8, 15.9. But I think the pole vault's one of those events where people see that, like what Dan O'Brien did with the Dan and Dave thing in 92.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't he come in lower? It's really binary. And if I'm not clearing 4 meters 80 or 15.8, I'm not clearing 8'8". Like, I'm just not clearing anything in the first 3 jumps. It's just not there, right? So there were decathlons that I came in at 5 meters at 16.4, like much higher, because I was on. It didn't matter. I could have come in wherever that day, and it wasn't going to happen.
So you left there feeling incredibly defeated, I assume. I know I've had bad races and I'm like, I just want to die. I'm humiliated. Even though no one else would think that way, I'm just like, I'm so embarrassed.
I think that, yeah, I never felt defeated because no one beat me. I beat myself, right? I felt really embarrassed and really ashamed for all the people that had helped me get through that $22,500 a year through college. My coach was all the way across the world, away from his family and the team, and everyone that had put their eggs in my basket. It was that was it. That was the first real public shame thing I had experienced. That was like, oh, like that was all over the world.
Yeah.
Like I had done the elementary school thing back home. I had done they had done the send off. Like it was a big, everyone saw it. And I'd let a lot of people down.
That's
what it felt like.
Yeah, no, of course. And the thing that I always tell myself, because I know that feeling, because I have a lot of shit races, and I know people like, I have friends that are wanting, but I also know the people competing against me want to kill me.
Yeah.
Right? But that's part of being good at anything.
Dude, you got a big old target on your back now, dude.
But when that happens and I start to feel like that, and believe me, like I've been embarrassed enough to go back to my hotel room and cry and just be like, I can't believe it. And my wife be like, what the hell do you care? Who cares? And then I come to my senses and I'm like, you know what? It's easy for others to critique you when you fail. And like, I think of that poem, The Man in the Arena, and I'm like, hey, I'm out here trying. And sometimes you're going to stumble and fall and end up covered in mud and dirt and blood. And other people are going to snicker at you, but they're not in the arena. So it's like, at the time, it's no consolation. But in time, you're like, yeah, fuck it. I'm out here trying. And like you said about the kids doing track now, you'll never be a good pole vaulter if you don't go out and try and do the pole vault. And when you try, you're going to be miserable. It's like jiu-jitsu. My youngest son, he's into it. But I'm like, if you are not comfortable getting your ass kicked, you can never be the best. You can't just show up at anything worth having and just show up and ragdoll everyone and be like, I'm the best. You don't get to declare yourself the best. You have to earn that. And that's what's so great about things like gold medals, black belts in jiu-jitsu. Everyone knows what you had to do to get there. And if the first thing you have to do is humble yourself and be used to losing. You don't have to be comfortable with it, but you have to be comfortable enough to be like, okay, what did I always say, you never lose in jiu-jitsu. You're just learning. Next time, you're not going to stick your arm there.
Yep. That's what I think I wish someone had told me when I was young, is just this idea, and it's universally true throughout nature. It's universally true with us and growth and learning, and like stress, and call losing a stress is the direction of growth in our bones and our muscles. They become stronger in the direction in which they're stressed. And so running into the thing, running and facing the challenge is where growth is. And I said this, a few weeks ago about like the cows and buffaloes.
Yep.
Cows turn and walk away from the storm, and then cows going this way, but the storm's just going to stay over it longer. And the buffaloes turn. That's why they only got the hair and the crap in the front. Turn, face it, and they're only going to have to go through it, but like a third of the time that the cow does.
Yep.
And that, I wish somebody like literally just Billy Madison like shook me into realizing that, and not avoiding it to feel cool, and not avoiding it to not feel bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you said about nature, and even with like the best wine, the grapes are stressed to the nth degree, right? They're freezing cold at night. They're really hot during the day, and that produces the best wine, which is why it comes from certain regions. But
shout out Paso Robles.
All of that sounds great, but it doesn't change the fact when you're going through it, you're like, I just want to die. I just want to crawl into a hole and no one look at me. Yeah. So how do you rebound from that? Because I think that's what this is really about, is like getting to the other side of doing this hard shit to where you're like, I did it. And again, even if I did it, is just like I got a mark and I did it the best that I could.
I was going to ask you that question before I answered, but I got home, again, still full of shame, embarrassed, knowing I could have done better. And the head coach of the Texas track team, who was actually the head coach of the U.S. men's Olympic team that year, and my coach, sat me down and just kind of, it was the first real, I would call it the first real like grown up meeting I had. So this was my job. I was, paying them pennies, and it was, hey, what are we doing here? And you're like, what do you mean? Like, hey, do you really want to do this? Is this what we're doing? Is it going to look like this the whole time? What are we going to do? What are you going to do? If this isn't something that you want to buy in, all in, then we can't help you. And I was like, can't help me? What are you talking? Like, what? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm not on a team. Like, they don't have to do anything for me. And I go, oh, well, yeah, I want, and then he goes, no. I want you to take a week off and really think about this. And I was like, a week? And they're like, that's how long we would like for you to think about this. And I'm like, okay. I think I know I think I understand. Thank you. Walked out, came back a week later, started training, and I would call it like that mindset that I have now of like looking back and being proud of the work started right there. And I professionalized every single thing that I did. From the way I slept to what I ate to I grew up. In that week, I grew the hell up and went into it as a professional and probably doubled the amount of time I spent at the track, in the training room, in the weight room, to make sure no stone was unturned, and that I was taking care of like the mental part of my game and knowing, okay, I know what this is like out there now. I know what I'm going to feel. I got to figure out a way. We've got to train that way. And I took more ownership in my training, a more collaborative approach. I reached out to other coaches. Hey, what do you see? How can I fix this part? How can I do this? And I wouldn't say that like sacrifice is a silly word when you're talking about sports and training and stuff. It's either worth it or it's not. Like it was, all of it was very much worth it. All the stuff that I gave up and all the things that I did that I didn't want to do, that I made myself do, because the juice at the end was worth that squeeze. It was so easy to say, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go home. I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to do this, this, and this. And I'm going to stay a little bit extra. And I'm going to do this one extra little thing that adds up over time. And it becomes over time that there were 90,000 extra reps of doing some pronation stuff so that I could throw the javelin 1 meter farther so that I could win by that much more. And there's again, 11 months later, I'm a world champion.
So 11 months later, the world's comes around. Where were they?
Berlin, Germany.
Okay. So you still have to travel and like adjust to the time and like.
Same thing.
Because that stuff is a big deal. I always say if a race is like 6 time zones away, you really should get there 6 days at least to acclimate to the time difference as a rule of thumb. But I hope that people listen to this recognize that, okay, this is how he handled going from, probably in your description, like failing at the Olympics, not jumping, right? I didn't do what I came here to do, to then turning it around and becoming a world champ a year or 2 years later, 1 year or 2 years?
11 months later.
11 months later you don't have to be an elite track athlete to take this mindset and these learnings. You can apply this to anything. If you're an accountant, if you're studying, I won a marathon the day before I turned 50 years old, like the whole thing. And the point is, you can apply this mindset to anything you're doing. And I've done it, you've done it, and it's available to anyone. The guy who works the hardest is going to win.
Eventually.
Yes. Yes. Right. And that's why I love this story. That's why I love your story. It wasn't just like I showed up, I'm so much better than everyone. I just showed up and was like, kicked the shit out of everyone. Like a great fighter. You see them show up and you're like, he has never lost. Yeah, well, he also trains harder than everyone else too. He probably lost a shitload in practice.
I think talent is very much overrated. It's special.
Yep.
You need some of it.
Of course.
But it is so overrated. Absolutely overrated. Like preparation and all that stuff. It's just an eventuality. But the real win, like we're talking about winning stuff and world champion and stuff. But the real win, I think a lot of people resonate with, is the peace of mind and fulfillment you get out of trying hard shit.
Yep.
And doing it to the best of your ability. That doesn't mean doing it the best, just doing it to the best of your ability. Whether that's, I was just solo with my 3 young kids for 3.5 days.
That's a hard job, man.
I did it to the best of my ability, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was so hard and frustrating and good, but man, I got to spend so much time with my kids. The year that I put in all the work and won the world title, all that stuff, like the fulfillment that you get out of that is priceless. Like we were just talking about different levels of income and stuff, and how, dude, I thought a lot of people think money solves your problem. Nope, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Being fulfilled solves all your problems. Being happy to walk inside your front door with your family, that solves all your problems. Like your relationship with your higher power, or however you define it, that solves all the problems. And doing things to the best of your ability, winning and having success is the byproduct down the line, maybe it happens early or a week or a month or a year or 10 years or whenever, that's just icing on the cake. That is like living a higher life, right?
The things I like about those wins is like no one can ever take them away from you, regardless of anything else you do for the rest of your life. Like you still did those things. And I think that when you demonstrate that kind of commitment to the world, everything in your life gets a little bit easier because you don't have to explain to everyone how hard you work. Most people, if people know you, they're like, oh, this guy's like, he gets after it. And in 21, I won the Masters division at the New York City Marathon, 40 and over. And I was like 50 or 50. I just turned 50. And the previous winners were like, I ran 2:33. It wasn't very fast, relatively speaking.
like
but
Meb,
the previous winners were like
winners?
Meb,
Meb
Olympians. Keflezighi, Abdi Rahman, 5-time Olympic runner. And Abdi and Meb text me and were like, hey, welcome to the club. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, the time isn't great. But guess what? I was there on the day, went faster than everyone else. And what I always take away from that when I think about it, I'm like, no one can ever take that away. Like my name is on there. I'm the Masters champion. I don't care what the time says. I tell the high school cross country kids this. I'm like, they're talking about the times were slower. This meet, that meet. I said, you guys are winners. I don't care if you ran 19 minutes. If you won, who cares? We're trying to win here. Well, I don't care. I'm not, this isn't a time trial. And that's how I look at all those things. It's like, did you win? If that's your goal. It's like, don't get caught up in the minutia. Like first job is attack. And if you can win, no one can ever take wins away from you after the fact. So you win the world title. Now what happens? You start getting ready for the next Olympic year, or is there another world title before?
There's a down year in between where there's like a world indoor championships. Didn't take it seriously. I went after my now wife aggressively that entire season.
And is she jumping professionally at this point?
She is still jumping professionally at this point. The same meet, just a few days before I win my world title, she wins a silver in the pole vault. Like just super
awesome.
stuck.
So she got a silver at Worlds in the pole vault. Okay.
Yeah, she was awesome. But it seemed like every Olympic year something would happen. Like she was in a cast both times. So should have been a 2-time Olympian. Just cards fell where they fell. Just a tough circumstance. But yeah, pursue my now wife very aggressively in that down year. And then the next year comes up. There's a World Championships. It's in Daegu, South Korea. And this is...
They don't want to give you any layups, do they? They want to send you all the way around the world for everything. Germany.
It's only been in America once, and it was in 2022. But going back to what you said, like the win in Berlin was an impressive win.
Yeah.
You look at it, you look at the numbers, you're like, shoot, that was a big score.
Yeah.
And then the one in Korea was one of the worst and lowest scores ever.
Yeah.
But you know what no one ever talks about? The score.
Yeah.
No,
of course.
2-time world champion.
Yeah,
they're both the same things because everything is, like, as you know, in marathoning, it's so relative. You could get Des Linden weather and the toughest MFers are going to win, or you can have the perfect conditions. Like Chicago was awesome last week. Like there can,
or even get scorching heat where you're like,
good
Boston,
luck.
like Boston, the year or two after Des won it, or maybe a year or two before, there was like
70 degrees.
Insane heat where people were like dropping like flies, like professional runners were being pulled off the course.
And
heat
that's
is the devil.
like when we were talking earlier about qualitative versus quantitative expectations and results, and like thinking that's winning.
Yeah.
You're going to lose sometimes if you only do that quantitative version, like what the number says. But if you give your best, you're going to win eventually.
Yeah.
Like it's just going to happen, you know?
So you're winning Korea, and then what? Then the Olympics coming up again the next year, and this is 2012, London?
Yeah, 12's coming up, and just my last throw in Korea, I shred my elbow too. So it was a closer than I wanted. Going into the javelin, my first throw, throw a personal best. Second throw, personal best. But there's some technical stuff that's off. Last throw, I'm like, I'm going to hit this thing. Like, this is going to be perfect. It goes really far. But I shred my UCL, tear my triceps. Like,
this is again what I mean about when you're throwing something so hard with so much force, the body can only take what it can take.
It was done. And it was really, I hadn't trained in a manner that would support the way I was throwing that day. Yeah. I figured it out that day. I was running hard. I was hitting positions, and I was like whipping the jab out better than I ever had. And my elbow wasn't going to stand for it. So it exploded. I get home. Within 3 weeks of getting home, I'm at Dr. James Andrews' clinic in Birmingham, Alabama, where my mom actually worked 5 floors above his surgery center. So it was like divine how I got in and when I got in. He sewed me up, and 3 months later, I could do a push-up without
3 months.
It took a couple of months just to straighten my arm out. 3 months later, I was doing a push-up, like a full Tommy John plus some other stuff, like with the strains and tears in my triceps, and my pronator mass was flipped out. So a lot going on, and was again, it felt a lot like after the '08 Olympics, where, all right, I can do one of two things. I can just, woe is me, learn nothing, try to keep doing the same old, and maybe I'm ready for the Olympics in 2012. Maybe I'm not. And I'm the 2-time world champion in the decathlon. It's a highly marketed event. I'm not a 100-meter dash guy. I'm not a distance runner, but it's right up there in that echelon of like, oh yeah, we know those guys, And I had a bunch of deals in place, like, not generational wealth, but like set me up. You win an Olympic gold medal in the decathlon, you're kind of set. Doing it in an English speaking country, kind of set. And now it's about to, it's getting taken away by my own doing. But like, what am I going to do in a year? Look back and go, I'm going to be frustrated about this my whole life. Or am I going to go, I did everything I possibly could do, and what better story could there be than this?
Yeah.
Like, here we go. So 8 months after surgery, I'm at the Olympic trials. I have yet to throw a javelin. I've like tossed baseballs and stuff. So I do everything I can possibly do, talking hundreds and hundreds of thousands of repetitions of rehabilitation and all that kind of stuff. Every ice, red light therapy, everything you can think of to get this thing ready. And I'm back there about to throw the javelin going, all right, I just need to throw. And I threw 69 meters when I shredded it. And I was like, I just need to throw 46 meters. That's like nothing. It's laughable.
Yeah.
And I get out and I trot, and it's taped up like the table. And I throw it, I think 50 something, like 51, 52,
Oh, good.
53.
So you get a good mark.
I get a mark.
A mark.
And you would have thought I won the Olympic championship right there.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. 8 months later, I eat, sleep, breathe, getting to this moment. I throw it. It lands in the ground. It's not good, but I'm freaking out because I just made an Olympic team. Yeah. And then all the while, what's going on in the background is my buddy and USA teammate Ashton Eaton set the world record.
It's a savage.
Came out of
He's having the
nowhere.
best year of his life.
Put it all together, nailed it, right? Scores 9,000 points. Bruce Jenner's there. Like, they're filming the Kardashian show there. Like, it was like this huge thing, right? He sets the record, but all the while, I wish I could have celebrated more with him. I was so invested in what I had done and made the team. And so now I'm getting to go to London, second Olympic team, and playing with house money.
Yep.
Like, oh man, this is just going to be so much more fun than the last time. I know I've learned my lessons, like no expectations, because now this world record holder's got to go win. I don't have to, I'm not there to do anything.
And it's just you and him on the team. For
Just the two of us. And my score at the Olympic trials is not great. I'm like maybe 15th in the world. Like, it's not watch out for Trey.
Yeah.
It's like, Trey, that stinks. That happened to Trey. He's not going to be there this year. So I get to London, start putting some stuff together, and all of a sudden in the middle of the day two, I'm almost in first place, right? Throw the discus, and I'm like almost in first place. And I'm thinking, all right, if I can like pole vault my ass off, javelin's going to javelin, maybe I can push and run the heck out of this 1500, and maybe I can beat Ashton. Ashton ends up scoring like 8,800 low. I scored 86, 89, 86,
what was your highest?
86, 90. 87.90 was my highest, but like I jog in the 1500.
Okay.
Like, 'cause I victory lap that thing.
Okay, yeah.
But I score within 100 points of my all-time best with a busted elbow. I throw within a meter of my all-time personal best in the javelin.
Jesus.
It made no sense. None of it made any sense. But it was this thing. It's the happiest I've ever been in the sport. It's the happiest I've ever been. I love talking about it. Like, it just brings me to this I'm so proud of that young idiot who didn't know much, but knew I'm going to do the best I can. And that's all I can do, and not worry about how far the javelin's going, not worry about how many throws I've taken, not worry about any of that stuff, but get to look back on it and go, shoot, yeah, it worked. Like all of it worked, right?
So great.
Yeah.
I love stories like this. So you end up, he gets gold, you get silver.
Yep. First ever 1-2 finish for the United States since 52. So it had been,
crazy.
60 years since that had happened. It was awesome.
You know, when you were telling that, I always think about that expression, like it's not over until you either quit or win. And again, winning doesn't have to be finishing first. For you, it just meant getting there, competing, and doing the best you could do. And if silver medal was the best you had that day, then that's the win.
Yeah.
And it would have been very easy to just give up and be like, I'm already a 2-time world champion. It's very easy when you've won something. You're like, I'm not doing it again. Why? I already won. I'm the best. No one can beat me.
Only one place to go from here, and that's
exactly.
down. Yeah.
And that's why, like, doing events, even now for myself, when they don't go well, I'm like, why did I do that? And then I'm like, what the hell am I talking about? Now I got to go do this again and fix this.
But that's like what you're saying too. No one takes that name off the record books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happens after that? Like, at what point are you like, all right, time to get on with everything else? Or
I put in another 4 really, I would call them frustrating years, where I'm like, my elbow's fine, I'm super fit, I'm really powerful, I'm fast, everything is like, feels like coming together. And then in some of the biggest moments, like my hamstring starts cramping or my back starts to spasm or something. And I think just the training catches up. Like I trained really hard for a really long time. And again, it was frustrating, but only frustrating in the moment. Like I'm not frustrated here talking to you about it now because I know I did everything I could have done, you know? Like could I have been wise? Could I have been more wise? Yeah, but I worked hard.
But it's also like your body can only take so much of that kind of training that you're doing to be a decathlon world champion, Olympic athlete. Like that's a lot of training and a lot of stress. And now you've had your elbow and all the other injuries, they start to pile up.
Yeah, and so I had started before my teammate Ashton, and he had retired before I finished. So
really?
Oh yeah, he was not that
he came
was
in,
like
did the damn thing, and was like, "Later, guys.
Yep.
Thanks for having me."
I mean, did pretty well. Set a couple world records, 2 Olympic golds, and 2 world titles. Yeah.
So cool.
Heck yeah.
So what are you doing now? You training people, Austin, Texas?
Yeah, actually moved a little bit west, so Dripping Springs, so like 25 miles west of Austin, and had just little tiny space kind of attached to a kind of elite volleyball club training facility. Still get to commentate and still get to be involved with the sport, working with NBC Sports, traveling all over the world doing that.
I love when I see you on the thing. I always call the kids in and I'm like, guys, my friend Trey's on TV. And they're like, Dad, you've told us this every day. The track meet's been on all week.
He's talking about this obscure discus thrower. Come watch this.
I love it. I can't get enough of it. I'm a huge track geek now.
Dude,
I got to watch everything.
So awesome.
I'm looking at what kind of shoes is the discus throw. Oh, he's changing his shoes for the javelin. That's interesting.
Yeah.
My kid's like, Dad, no one cares about this. I'm like, I do.
Dude, they'll get into it. It just takes time. And then I doing the regular season of track and field, pitched a show to Flow Track, and I'm like the main host of the Diamond League show called the Athletes Lounge, and we get to have it's like the Manning cast and the Pat McAfee show, but while the track meet's going on.
Yeah,
and so we bring guys in, we're talking, like sometimes we're talking about the track meet, but it's on.
Yeah.
You can watch it while we talk track.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's for track nerds. Like,
can I come on and talk about the marathon or something?
Absolutely. 100%.
I would love to.
Heck yeah, dude. And so trying to get all that done, and again, very decathlete of me that I'm doing a bunch of different stuff. And so, get guys home for summer, get them ready for all their fall stuff, all the collegiate guys, have a good group of high school kids that float around in off season, and then now doing some long-term athletic development, which I really didn't think I would like as much as I do, where, that 10 to 14-year-old going through puberty, they got new levers, they don't know the long-term athletic development and skill development, and really just teaching of like concept and this is what training is, this is how to train, this is how you should think about things. I've really started to enjoy that. And then there's the kind of one-off here and there, like kind of moms and parents of like, hey, I just need to get in shape for next year. And we're like, all right, we can do that.
Yeah.
Like I can blow a whistle just as good as anybody. And then honestly, I'm looking for the next challenge. Really. I had a conversation the other day just about like, I can feel it that, okay, not that I figured anything out on the coaching and training thing, but like I have an MBA. I feel like I have like the desire and the time now that all my kids are in school, we're ready to go. Like I want the next challenge, like the next really hard thing to go and struggle with and have to learn, because we talked about like, I want stress to be able to continue to grow. And not that I've figured anything out, but at least for this month, things are good.
What about coaching?
I think
college program?
That'd be awesome. Yeah. I literally have no like uh-uhs.
If they're
other than elementary PE, I can't do elementary PE.
If there are college coaches listening to this and aren't on the phone like before the episode's over, then they're making a mistake. Like that would be an incredible get for any program. And we definitely want to have you come to Brentwood High School and work with all the kids there, or at least talk to them. And my friend John Withrow, his son is an aspiring pole vaulter. This week they were in Nashville while I was here, unfortunately. The kid was looking at Belmont. He's going to be a senior next year,
right on.
and he's a pole vaulter.
Oh, heck
and of
yeah.
course, the first thing I told him is like, that I'm friends with Trey Hardee, right? He's like, he goes, you've told me like 6 times.
That's killer. Dude, anytime.
You're the best,
Love
brother.
Nashville.
Thank you for doing this. I hope everyone feels inspired listening to a world-class athlete and sees you don't just get to show up and win, like what hard work looks like and what it can lead to and the life you can live if you just put in the work. And thanks for doing this, brother. Appreciate you.
Dude, thanks for having me, man. Always good to see you.
Boom.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. Please take a quick minute to subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening. This is a new show, so subscribing makes a huge difference. Please also take a minute to give it a review and leave a comment on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. You can also subscribe and leave a comment on YouTube. Again, this is really important for us, especially now since we're just getting started. Please also check out all of our sponsors. They make the show possible, and honestly, I love and use every single product we talk about on the show. You can learn more about me, this podcast, and also find links to purchase my upcoming memoir at theothersideofhard.com. My new book is called Everything You Want Is on the Other Side of Hard, and it comes out March 10th, available everywhere you buy books. Or again, go into theothersideofhard.com. There's multiple links there where you can find all the retailers carrying the book. Thanks a lot for being with us, and we'll see you next week.